Hey guys, it's Nathan the Lone Ranger with my podcast Inside the Range, where I go into real estate professionals' personal lives. Today I got a special guest, although she isn't in the real estate profession per se. She does deal with a lot of real estate agents with her business AI software. I'll let her introduce herself.
Hi everyone, I'm Leah. I'm currently a senior at the University of St. Thomas, but I'm also the head of business development at Leads Up AI, and I'm excited to be here today.
Awesome. So you started your own business in high school, right?
Yes.
How did that happen? How did you generate that? That's pretty cool for a high school student.
Yeah, absolutely. So it was actually right when COVID hit. I was doing all my classes online, taking college courses, and I saw the opportunity to start my own business. On TikTok, I'd been getting a lot about being a social media manager and a virtual assistant. And I
You
thought,
did stuff on TikTok?
Yes.
What kind of stuff would you do on TikTok?
Oh, I didn't do a lot on TikTok right away, but just on my For You page, I'd always be getting business ones,
Right.
being like, you should be a social media manager, you should be a virtual assistant. It's just a great way to make extra money and
It's
help
like
out
you got
small
like
businesses.
ads that like came to your TikTok and be like, you should do this, you should
Yeah,
do that.
just like business owners
Okay.
sharing their experiences. So that kind of inspired me.
Okay.
And then I looked more into it and I figured, I'm on social media all the time. I'm on Instagram.
Right.
I'm very familiar with the platform, so it can't be that hard.
Right.
So then I kind of just looked into it and watched YouTube videos and trained myself how to make content and started using Canva and Photoshop.
Okay.
And
Okay.
yeah, and
Big
then
Canva person? I
yes,
love Canva.
I love
so-
Canva.
Okay.
It's a lot
Super
easier
handy.
than Photoshop.
Yep. Yep. Okay, so you saw like a bunch of ads and you're like, this is for me. Were you big in social media like growing up for sure? Or like, were you just kind of like stumbling upon it? Where did that kind of lead to?
Yeah, I kind of stumbled upon it. I wasn't super big on social media when I was younger. I just remember like getting my first Instagram account and being so excited and then just posting on there. And then when TikTok got started, that was just huge for everyone and
Right.
booming. So that was really great. And then that just really inspired me to look into it more and see how can I create content for these businesses instead of on a personal level.
Okay. So did you do a lot of like personal content creation before you did business and transition there, or you're just kind of fired right into the whole business, business,
Yeah.
social media?
Yeah, not a lot on the personal side, honestly. Besides Instagram, I'd always post on there, just kind of like the normal teenage girl. But I figured it'd be almost more fun for me for businesses just because I love being creative and creating graphics, especially like
Right.
hair salons was kind of where I first found my niche.
Okay.
So that was a lot of fun for me to go in and take pictures of their products and hair.
Okay. Yeah.
And then I did some content for them where I would actually be getting the services done. So getting my hair done or getting my eyebrows done.
So you did that in exchange for services, or was that what it started out as, or?
Both. So it started off, I remember getting my first client, I think it was maybe $150 a month, but I remember getting my first check and being like, oh my God, I'm so
Right.
excited.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Like I can actually do this. And then for the hair salon, I think that one was a mix of hourly, and then I'd also get discounted services, which as a blonde was super nice.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And how did you get your first client? Did you just go in and talk to them, or how did you, get started? So you had something you wanted to do. How did you get it off the ground?
Yeah, so very old school. I would actually just go on Google Maps and Safari and look up local businesses by me. I didn't really have an industry specific, just any small business in Prior Lake, I'd look them up. And then I'd go on their Instagram and Facebook and kind of judge if I think they're posting regularly, if I think they're high quality posts, or if they looked like they needed some help.
Okay.
So if I thought they needed some help, I would just send them a cold email and then go in and pitch to them.
Okay. Awesome. So you did get a lot of responses back in the cold emails.
Yes, that's how I grew my business and
Really?
started from the ground
Okay.
up, which is surprising because I feel like I do cold emails now and they don't work as good as they did
Yeah, I
back
never
then.
use cold emails
Yeah.
in mine. So
Cold calling mostly.
yeah, cold calling 100%.
Uh-huh.
Do you ever do that, or is it just mostly emailing?
I only did emailing back then.
Okay. And it worked out well for you?
Yeah, it ended up working out really well. I think maybe being in high school, that kind of helped me too, because business owners are like, wow, she's in high school, she's doing this, so it's kind of like they want to meet with someone.
Yeah. 'Cause is that what you led with? Like, I'm a high school student. I want to help your business.
Yes. Yep.
Okay, that's pretty cool. What was your email? Like, what did you use for
I
your
think
script?
I still actually have the template, but introducing myself, I'd say I'm a junior in high school. I'm in our business program here and
Right.
starting my own social media agency. Like I'm young and would love to just meet with you and talk over some ideas for your business. And ended up working out pretty well. And I also think that business owners do really like when people are younger, especially in the social media space, because that older generation, they're like, I don't want to look at social media. I don't want to deal with it. If you're young and you do that, like, that's awesome.
Awesome. So as a young person, you came in and you pitched the meeting. That's actually pretty cool. Were you like nervous to do that?
Oh,
Was it
my
like,
gosh.
oh, you were?
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Okay.
the first pitch I ever did, I was so nervous.
Oh,
I
okay.
was like,
How old were you?
You're
You're like, what, 16?
Yes, I was 16.
Good
and
for
I was
you.
like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'm so nervous.
Right.
It was this older guy, business owner, and I was like, he's just going to think I'm young and I'm stupid and I don't know what I'm doing. And so I really just had to almost pitch myself personally to him compared to being like, I have years of experience and, you know, I've done this for a long time. It was more like, I've never done this, but you should trust me that I can do a good job. Like, you're getting a really good deal. I'm in high school. Yeah, and it ended up working out.
Okay, so you just came in with some confidence, or what made you kind of be successful in that first pitch, would you say?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I didn't know it at the time, but I actually was applying sales techniques and kind of doing the consultation first. So question-based selling, the first meeting, I'd always just ask a bunch of questions about their business and kind of get to know them more. And then the second meeting, I would actually put together a full proposal using slides and then...
Oh, good for you. Okay.
Yes.
So where'd you get all this, like, who taught you? Did you just kind of self-start, or did you have like a dad or mom in the business industry that was able to kind of show you the ropes, or did you watch them growing up, or where did all this come from?
Neither my parents were actually in business.
Okay.
I kind of heard about it in high school. I did a program called MinCaps, which is professional development for students in high school. So you go and you do some college classes, and then they also help give you real world experience with businesses.
Oh, nice.
So part of that, I remember we had an assignment to come up with a business and try to actually make money selling it. So I made a clothing brand, and I just kind of fell in love. Yeah.
Okay, well, is it still alive today?
No, that one died pretty fast.
What was the clothing brand selling? Like, is it?
It was hoodies and like different designs, kind of girly and just different fun designs, which was a lot of fun to make.
Yeah. Did you just make it in your own house, or did you have like a distributor?
Yeah, so I'd make the designs in Canva, and then I had a distributor.
Okay.
Yes.
And then you just like kind of, it's the designs that separated you from like all the other clothing and stuff like that?
Yes, at the time, yes. That one was pretty short-lived and more of just a concept, but I was always looking for side hustles in high school.
Okay.
I sold some vintage clothing. That one actually did pretty well, like Poshmark, Depop.
Okay.
Yeah, that one was a lot of fun too.
Okay, and this was at the same time as you were doing your business development business as well, or is this before or after?
Yeah, kind of during and after. I mean, even when I was little, I always just loved having like lemonade stands.
Oh, really? Were you selling? Okay, one of those?
My grandma's always like, I knew you were going to be in business since you were 4, selling stuff at the garage sale. So that's kind of how I got started. But yeah, some at the same time, some during, but mostly I'd say before, and then after I've kind of transitioned into my role now.
Okay, so you would describe yourself as an entrepreneur, right?
Yes.
When did you know that that was your calling, that you'd be good at that? Did you ever have like a corporate job or anything like that?
No, I've never been in corporate, but I have been in the service industry. I worked at Caribou in high school, and then also as a server.
How was that experience for you?
It was good. I mean, I really liked Caribou, and being the barista and making drinks is always fun for me. I'm a huge coffee person. Are you a coffee drinker?
I am a big coffee drinker, yeah.
Yep, so that was a lot of fun for me, just creating different drinks.
Sure. And
so I did like
service
that.
Too?
Yes, I was a server at a few restaurants also.
Okay, how was that experience for you?
It was
I was
fun.
also a server for a little while.
Oh, you were, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
I had a lot of fun with the customers, but I don't know, maybe it's different. I don't want to be pessimistic, but usually the people would always be, like the coworkers would always complain or be kind of negative, and it just would, I don't know, rub off on me negatively. Was that
I could definitely see that. It was a lot of fun, but it's very tiring.
It is.
I will say.
Yeah. And if you do it like again and again and again, I only did it like a couple of days a week, so it was like perfect. I was like, hey, how's it going, guys?
Oh, yeah, then that's a lot of fun.
But if you kind of I feel like if you do it again and again and again, it gets old quick.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And then you're like, man, like, I don't
like,
really
want
want
to
to do this anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
I did love the social aspect, though.
Okay. Of the, like with your coworkers or with people or just both?
Both. I mean, meeting new people has always been so much fun for me, and I think that's why I'm great in sales, but as a server, it's just so much fun where you're talking to new people constantly.
Right, and you're also kind of upselling a little bit, right? Like extra drinks or whatnot.
Extra shot, or you want fries with that.
Are you still a server now, or are you?
No, I'm not. I have thought about picking up some shifts on the side just for fun, but haven't yet.
Just focusing on your business. Okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I guess I might have asked it earlier, but like, when did you know for sure that your entrepreneur was like, this is it? I'm not going to be a corporate person. I don't want to work a 9 to 5.
Yeah, absolutely. I think kind of like I mentioned earlier, it was when I got my first check for my social media agency in high school. I mean, you have a lot of self-doubt before you actually get out there and do it. And then actually knowing I could get paid for it. I was like, I'm never doing a 9 to 5. Like, I want to be my own boss forever. This is the best.
Yes.
And just having so much freedom, I think.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Yep. So, I mean, I'm sure people in this industry can know, but I love that about my job. No one tells me what to do. I don't have to worry about, and you can run it your way, right? That's just what's so valuable and just so cool about it.
That really is the beauty of it.
Yeah. So what do you do that's like, what would you say that's unique from other business owners? Or, I mean, it doesn't have to be unique, but what that you do that's successful or brought you success so far?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say probably hard work and being ambitious is the biggest thing. I mean, especially as a young entrepreneur and a young business person even, I think it's easy to get intimidated by older people that have a lot of experience. It can always be kind of scary.
Oh, yeah.
But really just the biggest thing is putting yourself out there and just doing it. And then you learn so much just from getting out there and getting experience and just not being afraid. I think confidence also has a big thing to do with that too, and just being comfortable talking to people and networking and putting yourself out there.
Absolutely. Yeah, I can attest to that. I was a loan officer. It started like last year. I mean, it was kind of a bad time in the market, and everybody was like, well, not everybody, but my parents especially were like, oh, you have no experience. Like, who's going to buy from you, And I kind of felt that. I'm like, these guys are in here for 25 years. But I have the benefit of my mentor, who will come on sometime soon. He like gave me his book of business, and I can just I knew he knows all the knowledge, so I can just confidently go and cold call and pitch him like, oh no, we'll do a great job for you. We'll close you. We're give him all the 9 yards, and I got clients that way just from backing him up. But then like what you were saying, once I started doing loans and closing on my own and just kind of figuring it out, then it becomes internal confidence. Because oh, I got this. It's not that hard. You got it. You can do it. You see the checks come in. You're like, heck yeah,
Absolutely.
And it just keeps you the drive to keep the foot on the gas, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
So I mean, so with your business and navigating college, I mean, so you started your business in high school. Did you ever consider just not? Because I know a lot of entrepreneurs just drop out of college and they don't go at all. Is that something that was ever on your dockets, or was college always something that you wanted to do?
Yeah, it definitely was, I think, something I thought about after I did see that initial success. But actually, prior to starting my business, I had heard about a scholarship at St. Thomas called the Schultz Innovation Scholarship. Several people in MinCaps had gotten it before me, and I knew you had to have started your own business in high school, so I kind of heard about that and was super interested in that also. So I actually did apply for that scholarship and was fortunate enough to get that and be a part of that program. So that's a full tuition scholarship for 4 years. Yes.
There you go. Look at you.
Yeah, it's awesome, and it's a great program. I have no regrets about going to St. Thomas. The faculty and staff there is just so willing to help you, especially entrepreneurs. They really want to see you succeed, and that's helped me a lot personally compared to, I think, missing out on college. I think I would have had regrets about that.
Okay. Yeah, so I guess, so is it a big reason why what was some of the reasons why, you wanted to call it? So obviously the scholarship, right? That probably made the whole tuition cost, there's not a negligible thing. Was it also, you wanted, college experience too, to meet people, or tell me more about that?
Yes, the college experience was definitely something that I knew I'd always wanted. I mean, growing up, you've seen movies like, oh, college is the best time of your life. So I really was excited to go to college and meet new people. And also with the scholarship, there's 10 students every year that are chosen for it. And so I knew I'd be going in with 9 other friends that also had businesses, which I was really excited about because in high school, I mean, you don't really meet a lot of other people that are business minded and start their
really
own
unique.
business. So it was really cool to have that going into college.
Okay. What are some of the other businesses that your friends are doing?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of my best friends, Natalie, actually started a mini cardboard cutout business on Etsy. And then one of my other good friends, John, he has a company called West Metro Solutions, which resells office furniture, so cubicles and desk chairs. But really, there was a lot across the board. My buddy Nate had a beverage bike. There was a beekeeper that did honey, COVID face masks, a lot of really unique businesses.
Okay, that's awesome. It kind of gives you inspiring ideas for you and stuff like that, or
Oh, absolutely. And I just love talking business. So having people that think the same way as you is just, it's awesome.
right. And yeah, that's what's nice about this industry, because you have that same mindset. You work with people with the same mindset, and they get the struggles, they get the positives, and everything like that. So
Yeah, it's really nice.
So describe me more about what's your current business then. What do you
Yeah.
what do you do? So has it changed since high school, and when you went to college, and where is it at now?
Yeah, absolutely. So I did kind of let my social media agency die a little bit when I got to college.
Right.
I managed a few clients, and then this year I went abroad, so that kind of put a damper on things also. But I had an internship with another startup which was focused on high school athletes' mental health previously. So that was a lot of fun. And then now in
What
my
was your
current
role for that one?
I was just an entrepreneurship intern, so I kind of wore a lot of hats and did a lot of different things.
Okay.
Yes, so that one was really cool. I've always loved the startup space. And then I got connected with my boss now through an opportunity at a private equity firm through a mutual connection. And so now I'm head of business development at Leads Up AI.
Okay, and what does that entail?
Yeah, absolutely. So my job is basically doing all of our sales and marketing and developing new relationships. Like you mentioned, we do a lot of work with people within the real estate industry, but really across the board. And I love being able to connect with people as a part of my job.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun, isn't it? What are some ways that you enjoy connecting? In the real estate industry, I know golf is a huge one.
Oh, yeah.
I love golfing, eating. I love eating, love golfing. Coffee's a big one as well.
Coffee is a huge one. Coffee and lunch are always great. I do want to get more into golf. Still have yet to do that, but that would be a lot of fun.
Right.
I've been going to a lot of networking events, which has actually been a lot of fun.
Yes.
And I like those, and being able to connect with a group is also really great.
Connect with the group? Just you have groups that you form, or just groups that you join, or?
Only been joining them so far, but would be fun to start one day.
Right. What kind of groups have you been that you really enjoy?
Yeah, absolutely. Recently I went to SEGC, which is for small companies. That one was really great. I've been hopping around different B&I groups, which has been fun.
Okay.
Chamber of Commerce. And then, as you know, my friend Dom has that Creative Minds Think Alike networking group, which has been a lot of fun.
Awesome. Yeah, you have any favorite ones, or I don't know if you want to call anybody out?
I'm trying to think. I don't know if I have an absolute favorite yet. Eden Prairie Chamber of Commerce has been great. I've probably gone to most of their events, so that's
Eden
been
Prairie
a really
Chamber
good
of
one.
Commerce?
Yes.
Yeah, the fun events and stuff like that? Or?
Yes,
I might
they
check
have
that
business at breakfast it's second Wednesday of the month, and then the last Wednesday, I think.
Is that the 7 a.m. one I see, or is that something else?
I think it starts at 7:30. All the
Okay.
networking groups are very early.
Right. Early risers, right?
Good way to start your day.
Yeah. So you go to those once a week, or how often do you what's your daily schedule look like then?
Yeah, I've been going to a lot recently. So I've been going to 2 to 4 a week. So getting up early. Sometimes I try to go to the gym in the morning, but that's been a pretty hard habit for me to form. And then either going to a networking event and then going to the office, or having a day full of meetings.
Okay. Are you currently full-time employed there right now? And
Yes,
you're also going to do school as well on the side? How do you plan on working full-time during the school year?
Yes, so I'm full-time right now, and then I just have the fall semester left, so part-time in the fall for sure, and then hopefully full-time again after I graduate.
Okay. Yeah, so what does college, I let you drink your water, but what does college, what have you taken away that's been very valuable for you, in terms of classes or networking? What would you say would be valuable?
Yeah, absolutely. My capstone class was probably my favorite class I've ever taken at St. Thomas. So
What's a capstone class?
it's kind of like your final class as a senior, which I did it as a junior because I have enough credits, but it's kind of like almost encapsulating your entire major. So for entrepreneurship, our capstone class, it's developing your own business idea. You pitch to a team of angel investors, and then you kind of develop that over a course of the semester with a team.
Is this like a real idea, or is it just like a hypothetical? Oh, it's
Yes.
a real idea?
So
Okay.
this is actually one of my other side businesses that I'd love to have more time to work on, but it's a mental health platform for
awesome.
children and teens of divorce.
Of divorce?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So tell me more about that. Do you know any more? Because like I used to be a teacher. I see preschool, elementary school teachers, and like you really see how it affects kids. And it really makes me feel real bad. I feel real sad seeing that. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I think in college I met a lot more fellow kids of divorce. In high school it was kind of uncommon. I was kind of the only one of my friends that had divorced parents.
Oh,
so
really?
it's been really nice connecting with other children of divorce in college and seeing how it affected them and how that we could potentially help them.
Yeah, so I'll be honest with you. I've always been fascinated by the topic of marriage. Really,
Yeah.
I mean, I was a server too, like you said. I was also a teacher. I deal with people who are divorced all the time, and if they're okay with talking about it, I always like to see, like, ask them like what went wrong and what didn't go. Like, if you don't mind talking about it, like what age were you when your parents separated?
Yeah, absolutely. So when they kind of first mentioned divorce, I was in 6th grade, and then when it was finalized, I think I was end of 8th grade.
So was it like slowly splitting apart, or were they trying to save it?
Yeah, kind of. It was
or
kind of
what
like
happened?
fighting for a few years. I mean, I know obviously everyone wants to save their marriage. They don't want to
Right.
give up, but it kind of got to the point where it was almost better for them to get divorced. So they ended up getting divorced and then living separately. So that was just a really hard transition, I think.
Yeah, for you, especially
Yes.
during that developing years.
Oh, absolutely. And then going to high school and being at a new house 50% of the time, that was really hard. But overall, I mean, it's just a very hard experience. And at that age, I felt like I didn't have access to a lot of resources like therapy, or really couldn't talk to a lot of my friends about it. So it was a pretty lonely experience.
Right, and you didn't feel comfortable talking to your friends, or they just didn't understand, or what
Yeah, I
was
mean, I
it?
talked to some of my friends a little bit, but my friends that their parents are still together, they didn't really understand my experience, and I also didn't really want to burden them with my problems. So
Okay, and then did you have any siblings, or are you the only
yes,
child?
yep. I have an older brother, so that experience actually did bring me and him a lot closer together.
Because you guys would stay together, obviously, right? And then you just kind of go back and forth.
Yep.
I mean, I guess that was, like, did you feel like, obviously you felt sad,
Yeah.
but I would say, like, did you feel, I mean, what were you feeling? I don't know what it was
Yeah,
like to
no,
be
absolutely.
divorced
I'd
either.
say, I mean, obviously sad, everyone feels sad, but
Right.
I'd say like very almost depressive and kind of anxious and just lonely. Like, I mean, I think for me, I kind of got into a mindset where I almost wanted to isolate myself and not
Really?
really talk to my friends because they didn't understand what I was going through. And yeah, it was just kind of a lonely and sad experience.
Did you open up to your parents about it, or you didn't feel like you could? Or
No, I kind of didn't feel like I could in that situation, which I think was also something that was hard. And I know for some kids that experience divorce, it might be easier for them if they can talk to their parents. And so that's something that we also kind of want to incorporate into our platform as some way to kind of make that communication easier.
Okay, so what are you doing things with your platform then? Like, tell me more about, you're making a little platform for, you said kids and
Yeah.
middle-aged, adolescents
Yeah.
going through divorce. So obviously your experience is gonna tie in a lot with that.
Oh,
but,
absolutely.
but what are you trying to like kind of do that I guess you didn't have?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So we have a lot of different features we've talked about, but right now we have a custody calendar. So kids can share that with their parents and know when they're going to each house, and then also make a list of, okay, I need to bring my toothbrush and this outfit for this day and this thing, so they don't forget anything. And then also a big one is therapy. So we're still kind of trying to work on that, either offering online therapy, kind of like a BetterHelp, or connecting them with local therapists to them. And then also a mental health journal. So asking questions about how they're feeling. And
Who's asking the questions?
so it's actually online. So it's going to be an app. So you can pick from your questions or have like a random button, and then you'll be able to type your responses, and then those will all be private to the kids also. So they don't have to share that with anyone or share with their parents. It can just kind of be personal to them.
And is this meant for more like older kids then, I'm assuming, like kind of like older elementary or probably middle of high school, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, with apps, you kind of have to be careful too, with the legal aspect, 13 plus for sure.
Yep.
We're still kind of trying to figure that out too, because we would eventually love to offer something for younger kids also.
Mm-hmm. And what's your goal for the younger kids? Because they probably need more of a personal touch than like an app or anything, I would assume,
absolutely.
Right?
We're also trying to work on a connection feature. So either connecting them to other kids who are going through divorce.
Yeah, I think that would be very
useful. We're trying to figure that out. What's the best way to do that? If that's like having there be chats or a Zoom or something like that. Because, I mean, with the legal aspect and privacy, you have to be very careful, especially with that age group or
exactly.
Yeah.
Because a random person comes
So that's definitely the risk there, or kind of a mentorship program if it's someone older who experienced divorce when they were younger, kind of mentoring someone younger.
Are you talking to any schools about that too? Or because that could be a useful thing to integrate with the schools.
Yes, we've been talking to a few schools.
Okay. Yeah, so I guess kind of going back to your experience, what did you wish that you had that could have made your experience less painful, I guess, would be the question.
Yeah, absolutely, though. I think that the connection piece probably would be the most important.
So finding someone to talk to. Did you talk to your brother about what you're going through? Or
yes, my brother was kind of my rock during that time. And so I'm really thankful to have had that. But I mean, even I think just having other people to talk to is always good that are experiencing the same thing.
And you just didn't have that for a while? Did you have that towards the end of high school or not
I'd say more so, I think my first year at college was actually when I met my first friend that had divorced parents, which is surprising because I think you would think that now there's a lot more divorce and a lot more people with divorced parents. But in high school, I was kind of the only one I knew. And then when I came to college, I was able to connect with other people. Okay,
and that kind of made you, able to talk about certain feelings and certain experiences that you weren't able to relate before.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did it make it easier, or what did that help with?
Yeah, I think it made it easier. I mean, it's just nice to be able to really go in depth about what you experience and know that you're not being judged because they experience the same thing too. Okay.
Yeah, so I guess my question too is what was it like living at two houses? I couldn't even imagine that. Going back and forth. Did you go back and forth, or
yes?
How often would you go back and forth?
Ours was every other week, so we were fully 50-50.
So you're here 1 week and
mom's then dad's.
Was your divorce, or not yours, but was your parents' divorce amicable, or was a lot of fighting, or how does that?
There was a lot of fighting. I would say it was a pretty high conflict divorce. So it was nice having them be separated so they couldn't fight with each other anymore.
What do you mean? Okay, so just physically separated.
Yeah, physically separated, okay. But it was really hard going back and forth that often.
Oh, yeah. So every week you'd move your stuff in a backpack or something?
Yep, I'd have a duffel bag, and I think at one point I had 3 bags, and so especially before we could drive, it was just awful. It'd be every Sunday.
Who dropped you off? Would it be the parent that dropped you? And then would there be
it was always awkward.
Yeah, I bet, right? She'd be like, here you go, how's your day? Oh, good.
Yeah, here's the kids. And then it's
okay,
right.
They didn't really talk to each other.
Oh no, not a lot of talking.
Okay.
I think it's better that way, but
right. Okay, so I guess how that describe more. I just am really, if you don't want to, you don't have to, but I am really just curious about divorce because I've never been through it myself. But like I said, it just really fascinates me in the sense because it does affect a lot, right? So how did that did you not have a rock? I just feel like you wouldn't have a space you call home, right? You didn't have
that's definitely
your
the big
own
thing.
home, right?
Yeah. So we were living at what became my dad's house, with my mom, and so I think that also was hard, seeing her leave and not having her in the house. That kind of changed.
So your mom left your house that you grew up with?
Yes. So first I actually moved from Shakopee to Prairie Lake. My house in Shakopee was my childhood home, and then going into middle school, we moved to Prior Lake, which I already was not happy about, but
Why didn't you like Prior Lake? I thought there was a really nice
I
area,
do
isn't
like,
it?
I like it now, but at the time I didn't want to leave my friends. I was like, I have all my best friends here. Like, I don't want to move
Yeah.
schools. And going to middle school, I was like, this is so scary, but it was okay. But the house in Prior Lake kind of became our family home. So then my mom had to move out of that. And then she moved into a townhome with my now stepdad. So we're doing 50-50 between both those. And
So, man, there's just so many cool topics.
oh, I
we're talking
know.
about.
We can go so many ways with this.
So first off, I want to say, like, I did talk to some more experienced mortgage loan officers in my office here, and I'm just, I have a client here that's also gone through something similar, and he told me that when they separate and one person stays in the home, eventually he'll probably move out of the home
Yeah.
because it's just so many memories of the other person in there that it just kind of drives, it just
Oh,
kind
yeah.
of plants that, and he's like, okay, I just gotta, everything reminds me of it, like the chair or like the bathroom or, something.
No, yeah,
right?
absolutely. And I think I would feel the same way too if I was with someone, like you have your family and
Yeah.
then
And
all of a sudden they're gone.
Yeah. And then you have
Yeah.
like reminiscence of like everything. So like my question there is like,
Yeah.
did you have that when your mom moved out of your
Yes.
home in Prior Lake?
Yep.
So did you like see it and you're like, oh, my mom's not here. Like, oh, you might go downstairs and expect you to be there, but then she's not.
Yeah,
type
I'd
of
say that
deal?
was a really sad experience and also kind of angry. Like you get kind of angry about the
Yeah,
whole thing.
yeah.
Like my
Because
mom's
you're like,
supposed
why,
to be here.
why
Yeah.
me, or like, what's happening?
Yeah, definitely. And then it was hard, like trying to create a new space in her new house. And it's like, I don't want
Yeah.
this. I just want my one room.
Yeah.
But my dad actually did end up moving from the original house in Prior Lake. I think
How soon after?
going into my senior year of high school, so about probably 3 years
So
after.
it did. He is another statistic.
Yes,
that
yeah.
He's like,
So
yeah. Okay.
the
we
theory
gotta
is
get
true.
out.
It's true.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So you just couldn't have your own space. Like, did you have a space that you were like, oh, this is my room, this is my area, or not really?
Yes, yeah, I had a room at both houses. My room at my dad's was my favorite because that was kind of the original one and just how I liked it. And then kind of starting a new room at my mom's is weird because it's like,
Right.
I don't want this.
Yes.
So you're just kind of like, I don't want to even do this. But that did become my space at her house.
Okay. And then did this whole thing like kind of create a rift between you and your mom or your dad at all?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd say my relationship with both of them was affected for a long time. I mean, especially in high school. I think once I graduated high school, it's kind of easier to forget. And then having my own space in college was super nice and actually helped our relationship having that distance.
Okay. Did you feel like anger, or what were you feeling towards them? Like, why did you guys split up?
Yeah,
or-
absolutely. I think it was a lot of anger at both of them for a long time.
Right.
I mean, also, sadness, but just being mad at them for certain things. And eventually you have to forgive people, and that's really the only way you can move
Yep.
on. So I did end up, forgiving both of them mentally just for my own sake. So I can keep that peace.
I'm thinking too, like, it would just be tough during like Christmas, for example, where you're like, it's just so like for my Christmas,
Yep.
I have like younger siblings, and it's just so I get so nostalgic every time because I have a lot of younger siblings, and it's just like
Okay.
it's such a reminiscent, like
Yeah, it
nostalgic
is.
time for me. But for you, your experience, I'm just thinking like, you'd be like, I mean, your parents didn't get together for Christmas, I'm assuming.
Oh, no, I wish they did. Like, that would have been kind
Put
of
it
fun.
away to the
if
side,
they
watch
did.
Home Alone. Or
Yeah.
something.
No, that'd be kind of
Yeah.
fun. But no, we didn't do that. So I think in like the custody agreement, it's every other for pretty much every holiday. So it'd be like Christmas Eve, I go to my mom's, and then Christmas Day, I go to my dad's, or other way around. And then Thanksgiving was every other year. But yeah, holidays were not fun either anymore.
You
Yeah.
just feel like, man, I want a whole family, whole like together, and you're
Yep.
just splitting up half and half, and I could imagine how
It's
that
not the
just like,
same.
I could imagine how that would make just, I'm just getting kind of sad thinking about
Oh
that.
yeah,
I
no,
mean, it's
absolutely. It's not the same experience. I mean, I know people are always like, "Oh, divorced parents, you get twice as many presents."
Oh no!
And it's like,
who
no.
cares about that, right?
No.
That's just who cares about material stuff? That doesn't even matter. So
Yeah,
like,
no.
you probably were you like sad when Christmas time came around? Because like everyone else is like, oh, Christmas is coming, but you're probably like, because that just, I feel like that just like kind of put salt in the wound almost.
Oh yeah, it does.
Right?
It
Like,
really
it
does, and
just-
especially for me, like I was used to growing up originally it'd be my mom's side and my dad's side all together. So we'd have
Yeah.
our aunts and our uncles and our
Yeah.
grandparents and
Yeah.
just everyone all together at once, which was like my favorite thing. I
Yes.
loved holidays.
Yeah.
And then to not have that anymore
Yeah.
was, yeah, it
And then
was
just
really
be
tough.
reminded of your situation even more, and you're just like, man, that's rough.
No, seriously,
Oh,
that's
man.
how it goes.
Yeah.
And birthdays, there's only one day, so then gotta split that.
So that's another reminiscent of the time.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So I guess, and then you said, I want to touch on like the stepdad thing. What was that like? Like, what's your relationship with him? Where you were like, I don't know, how old were you when you met him?
Yeah, so I met him when I was 14 maybe. So we ended up moving in with him and my mom at one time, which was super hard right away. I mean,
Because there's another guy, right? And you're like, you're not my dad.
yeah,
Right.
That's definitely
And
the
it's not fair
attitude.
to, well, it's not, yeah. And then he didn't do anything to you per
Yep.
se too. But like, I get where you're coming from, where you're like, this is not my dad. Like,
Yep.
I don't answer to you. Yeah.
Younger, it's definitely harder to. I think now, obviously, I would hope I'd be more mature about it.
Right.
But at the time, being that age too, it's just like you said, you're not my dad, and then just being frustrated, even like seeing your parent with someone else.
Yeah,
that's
because
not
you're
your
like, you're
parent.
supposed to be my
Yeah.
dad. Yeah.
Definitely that type of thing. And then, like, if my mom was making a decision, if I could have a sleepover, like go here or something, and then if she asked him what he thought,
you're like, get out.
I'm like, you don't get to say anything.
get
Like,
out,
come on.
Right. Right. So are you guys close now, or?
Yes.
you
Yep.
guys
Our
are?
relationship has gotten a lot better over the years. He actually pretty much taught me how to drive and has been a really big person in my life now. So
Okay.
I'm
And
very
then what
thankful
about
for him.
so what about your other, your real dad, I guess?
Yes, yeah, my real dad. He actually moved to Utah when I graduated from high school.
Was that hard for you? Because now it's more distance and you don't get to see him as often.
Yeah, at the
Okay.
time I was really sad about it, and I mean, it's a big change having someone move out of state, but now it's been a lot of fun getting to go out there and hike and do things together. I mean, Utah is beautiful, but
That was awesome.
yeah, at the time it was really hard, and now I only see him a few times a year and not really on holidays or anything anymore.
Not
so.
really on holidays?
No, so that's a little tough.
Is that by like choice, or is that just because they court ordered, or?
No, not court ordered anymore. So now we're 18. You can pretty much do whatever you want. My dad just doesn't come back as much, so it's more going out to visit him.
Does he have like his own, did he remarry or anything like that?
Yes, yep. So he
Okay.
recently remarried. He was after my mom, and then,
What do you mean he was after your mom?
or like he remarried after my
Oh,
mom.
okay,
did,
okay.
Yeah, by a few years. So I think I met his girlfriend when I was.
Well, that's just a lot to take in. I'm just like, I'm
Yes.
just hearing it, and
Yeah,
I'm
it's
just
a
like,
long story.
wow. I mean, no, just like I'm just putting myself in your shoes, and I'm just like, wow,
Yeah.
it's just now you have another mom, well, stepmom,
Oh, yeah,
you have another
it's-
stepdad, and like two kind of sets of parents in different houses.
Yep, it becomes a whole.
Yeah, that's
situation.
actually kind of wow. That's I wouldn't really want to sign up
No,
for that.
no,
but
I don't think anyone does.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can be a lot for sure.
Okay, so I guess like how did you kind of I mean, so now this is all the time with your business, right? So how did you did this kind of drive you to go and just put all your emotions in like business?
Oh,
or
yeah.
how did that
Definitely.
yeah.
I think that was a big motivator for me. I mean, a lot of it is mindset, and I think a lot of people, when they go through hard things, they can either kind of turn one way and go into doing bad things to kind of cope with it, or it really serves as a motivating factor. And so for me, that was like huge motivation. I was like, I want to be way better than my parents at everything. Like, I'm going to make my own money and take care of myself. So that was like a huge motivator for me. And also, I think, I mean, now I'm thankful for that experience because it did motivate me so much and also really changed my mindset.
Okay, so like looking back, you're like, hey, I was able to make lemonade out of lemons type of situation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just kind of go from there. So I guess like, did they still play a big role in I guess in your just growing up? I guess your like
Yeah.
high school years and stuff. Like they both were able to help you out and everything.
Yeah, absolutely. I think growing up, they were both super present. My dad kind of was less present than my mom. My mom was a stay-at-home mom throughout childhood and then went back to work, but she was there for most of it.
Yeah, so I know I want to protect their privacy and stuff. So
Yeah.
I mean, don't have to answer this if you don't want to.
Yeah.
But like like I said, I'm so fascinated by
Yeah.
marriage. I don't want that to happen to me.
Yeah.
So I always ask like people who do have very successful marriages,
Yeah.
people who don't. So where would you say like their marriage like kind of hit the snag, and if you were like overseeing it, what if you did like, oh, if this happened or if this didn't happen, it would have worked
Yeah.
out.
If you want to cut this part, then I'll tell you. But I don't want them to like see this.
Oh gosh.
Yeah,
Does
don't
that
blame
affect
me.
your like? I don't know. Are you Christian or anything or not really?
I am not super religious anymore. I was raised Lutheran. I think I kind of lost that during the divorce too, because
then that's so hypocritical, right?
Yeah.
You're just like, wow, like that's.
yeah, I kind of lost my religion during that, which I think is a little bit common, but
Yeah. Dang.
Yeah.
Dang, that's super. So who did you turn to? Is like you didn't. What did you turn? What's your like turn? Like what was your like? Like because you know your parents, like you didn't say you have friends. So you said you just isolated yourself. And we don't have to put any of this on either.
Oh yeah, no, you're good. It was mostly just like me and my brother, honestly. Like he was my rock during all of that.
How old is he?
He's only a year and a half older than I am.
Okay.
So we became super close, which is really nice. But
Yeah. Dang.
and he was like, obviously he knew everything because he experienced it. So I didn't have to worry about him like telling other people or being weird about it.
I did not think we were gonna talk about divorce. But I just thought it was.
I always get down a rabbit hole somehow.
It's such a.
It's a fun one, though.
I truly think it's a really unique because like half the people whatever get divorced and like I do not want that to happen.
Oh,
to
no.
me. No.
No, that's,
and then,
like, my
especially
worst
with
fear
kids.
now.
Yeah, me too. Like especially with like kids, and then if I imagine like somehow I lose my kids and lose my wife and
Yeah.
lose the house, like dude, I'd
Everything.
just be.
Like, you can literally lose. You can lose
I'd
everything.
be so depressed. Oh my gosh, I would take like that would be so hard for me to recover from.
Me too.
Wow. Okay, but you have like your parents just didn't.
Yeah, pretty much.
Sorry, I'm just kind of my head's spinning. That's
No, you're good.
That's a lot of.
Yeah, it is. It's a
of
lot.
stuff. Okay, and then you just recovered.
Yeah. I mean, like now, I really do think it's helped my mindset a lot, and I have like a great empathy from it. Like I think that's kind of one of my biggest strengths is my empathy, and like other people that have experienced it or experiencing hard things, I can really empathize them after going through that. And I mean, now like it's given me the idea to help kids of divorce, which is great.
Okay. Yeah. No, that's
yeah.
good to use that. I like that. I love that a lot. Actually,
Thank
just
you.
use that to, especially with the young kids, protect them any way you can.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
From like, but you're not ended up a bad person, so
No,
that's good.
no.
It's not like
I
you ended
mean,
up like with drugs or
yeah.
anything like that.
I know. I think people kind of like I said, some people like turn to drugs and bad coping mechanisms, and then
Right, alcoholism, or they just go out and be promiscuous and
Yep.
stuff. Yeah, I could easily see that.
oh yeah, definitely.
Okay, so I guess
Like,
does this affect like the way you treat relationships? Like, are you
Oh,
really
yeah.
guarded? I bet I would make.
Yes,
I'm really guarded in
absolutely.
general, but like that would make if I had that experience, I would make me really guarded.
Oh yeah, no,
As well.
definitely. I think that's like where I see it most now.
Wait, do you want this on camera?
I don't care.
Okay,
This
so
part's
like,
fine.
So
As long
with
as-
all the divorce and stuff, like, do you think that this affects the way that you treat like your personal romantic relationships
Oh,
with
yeah.
all that you've been through?
Absolutely. That's, I think, where I see it the most is in my personal relationships. I mean, I know now kind of there's a lot more awareness around different attachment styles and
Yup.
all that stuff. I definitely think I'm very avoidant and, like we talked about, very guarded, and it's hard for me to be vulnerable and like open up about
it is.
my experiences and my feelings.
Yeah, just general the people or
I would say in general, but I think in romantic relationships it is harder because you do kind of have that fear of like, I don't want to get hurt or mess things up like my parents did.
yeah.
and-
Yeah, I know we talked about, but like the worst fear that I have.
Oh
is, like,
yeah,
the
the divorce fear is real.
losing the kids and losing the house.
Yeah, just losing it all.
Oh man, like I don't want to bring. I'm not gonna name it, but like I met
Yeah.
a guy who it was in his townhouse. I met him at I think pickleball church
Okay.
events, but I don't know what happened, but his wife just I obviously just heard one side of the
Yeah.
story, but then I just saw him like he had a great job, great savings, and then
Yeah.
divorce. Expensive, right? For lawyers
Oh
and
my
stuff.
gosh, yeah. Very
Expensive.
expensive.
So then you're drained of the money, but that isn't even like the money is one thing, right? And of course, it'll make you feel hurt, but I
Yep.
feel like the weight of losing the kids
Oh my God.
and
yeah.
the wife, like the personal, you're together for so long, that's like infinitely
Oh my God,
more
yeah.
hard than money. But then you have the money, like you see your bank
On
account.
top of that,
thing.
you would lose the money too.
Oh man,
and
I
the
just like
house.
that's why like marriage, like that's what I was telling you, marriage fascinates me because
Mm-hmm.
I mean I see how it affects people, and it just I definitely obviously everyone's like we don't want to do it, but like I definitely don't want to go
Oh my
through any
gosh,
of
yeah.
that.
No, I'm like,
I
I'm
definitely
gonna
don't
be
want that.
sure.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
but it's
they
like
have
at
to,
the end of the
10
day,
years.
you never really can be. I mean,
Right.
you can do the prenup thing,
Right,
but
but then even then there's always like the mistrust
yeah.
already.
Yes, I
and
know,
it's
because
just
then like
like,
with the prenup, then it's like you're
yeah,
scared and you don't trust them, so
yeah. So it's just like,
it's hard to win.
man. I guess like yeah, just trying to wrap up the topic of divorce.
Yeah.
I guess like what's something that you like learned from your experience like, having to go through that. I guess I'll ask like a couple questions. So
Yeah.
like that's one, and then I'll yeah. What would you say?
Yeah, I would say, I mean, definitely it makes you stronger and more resilient. That was kind of the biggest thing. I mean, going through something so hard and, you feel so sad and depressed.
What was your
bouncing back from
coping
that.
mechanism?
Yeah.
Like, how did you, like, I don't even know how I would deal with that as a 12-year-old. Like, what do you do? Do you just run down the street?
Yeah, I did run away a few times.
Oh, you did?
Yes,
Run away where?
I did. I would just walk. Like we had there's a park, and then if you kept walking, like you'd run into another park, or there's like a little pond behind our house. So that was one.
So you just kind of
sometimes.
came to the pond, like camped out for a
Yeah, I
little
was
bit,
just
or
like,
what?
I just walk away, and I'm like, yep, this will show them I'm running away, and then they call you, and they're like, you have to come back.
Right.
That one wasn't super effective.
No, but it's just like you
we'll
just had to
recommend
get
that
your
one.
anger out somehow, right? So I
Oh,
understand that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I'd say sports was also a big one. I always played soccer.
Okay.
So I mean, even going on runs and being active was a really
Do you ever
healthy
lift?
way.
I feel like I would lift and just like pick up heavy stuff and be like, oh.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. As a guy, I could definitely see
Yeah.
that. In middle school, not big into lifting, but high
Fair
school,
enough.
yeah. Now I definitely am on that. But at that time too, like even drawing was kind of a stress reliever for me. And
Okay.
yeah.
Will you draw like draw your feelings? I don't know. What would you?
Yeah, I
what
don't
would you
even
draw?
just like random stuff. Yeah, I don't really remember, but that was kind of a good one. I'm trying to think of what else. I mean, just like getting out of the house was
Yes,
the
the
best
house.
thing.
I feel like with just the environment, just constant reminder of what you're going through and stuff like that.
Yeah, anything you can do to just get out of the house and escape was like the
Do you
best.
stay at friends' houses a lot? Were you away from home often?
Yes, my friend Sid actually. I would stay at her house like all the time in high school,
Okay.
which was awesome.
Yeah, so you bounced around a lot then, right? You have
Yeah.
like 2 different homes, and you stay at your friend's house, and
Yep.
you didn't have a space, like really a spot to like rest your head. It seems
Yeah.
like, right?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
it's a lot.
Okay, so like that was like the middle school part. Like, did it get like slowly get better in high school, or so like the one was the epicenter of like the whole feel, like because you say you got divorced in, like 6th, 8th grade, you said?
Yeah, 8th grade.
So that was like the whole like that's where like it's like boom,
Yeah.
it really hit you.
I would say that almost before the divorce was worse because they were together and fighting all the time. But I mean, in high school, it was still really hard having both those houses. And I mean, dealing with each parent separately, then they're
Yes.
both dealing with the loss of their marriage too. And
Yeah.
don't have the best coping mechanism sometimes. So then that's hard. But I think it really got better after going to college.
Okay, so the high school was tough for you. Then, just
yes.
going to high school and
Yep.
making friends and be like, hey, we're all, yeah, and it must be funny. Just go to a friend's house and they're all happy, and you're like, oh man, they don't gotta deal with this. And,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know.
I did have friends, but it is like it's just such a sensitive topic to talk about, and especially if they have happily married parents, it's hard to come in and be like, "Yep, my parents aren't married anymore," and they're like, "What?"
Well, it's not funny, but I don't
Yeah,
know.
no, it is. I have a dark sense of humor from the divorce, so
Yeah.
that's also a good thing that came out of it.
Try to make it lighter.
Uh-huh.
So I guess you mentioned a little bit before, but like, so your parents are going through that, right? And at the same time, they have to. I mean, they don't have to, but they want to raise you the best they could. Because I mean, I don't know your parents, but
Yeah.
just from human nature, I believe that they still want to what's
Oh
best
yeah,
for you,
absolutely.
right? So how, like, I guess, like, do you see that like affect them in the way that they could give you, like how much like they could give you?
Oh
you
yeah,
know?
absolutely. I mean, I think it definitely took a lot away from me and my brother because they are so focused on what they're
Right.
feeling
Yeah.
themselves and
Yup.
they're trying to deal with their own feelings in the best way they can.
Fill their void, and you have a void too that you're trying to fill. So it's like,
yeah, it's really hard on everyone.
Oh, it's kind of like a bomb that goes off, isn't
it?
And it just really, everyone's just shell shocked. And I mean, I appreciate you sharing your story. I mean, of that.
Absolutely.
That's just really, that's a hard thing to kind of talk about, but it's like, it gives me insight into like how detrimental that.
Oh, absolutely.
How that could be. So I guess like you said, you went to college, like now that you're in college, that's probably where it's better. You got separated from the house. It's less of that environment around you. You're able to kind of find yourself more in your business and your career, and you're finally figuring out like, okay, now that you have, your void more filled, that you can kind of look at that situation with not as much pain, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Time really does heal, and distance helps, and yeah, honestly, I think time is probably the best thing.
Okay, so I guess like to wrap up this,
yes,
to wrap up the topic of divorce, like if you have somebody in your age or like in the middle of school that's going through the same thing, how would you comfort them? I guess without knowing this person.
Yeah, I would just tell them to keep going and that it gets better, even if you don't think it's gonna get better, and if it's really hard right now, you just have to keep going and trust that it's all gonna work out and get better one day. That's really all you can do, and just keep working hard and find things that make you happy even when you're going through a really rough time.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, so I guess I know you mentioned, so let's travel some lighter topics here. So you said before you traveled abroad, where have you been to? I've never been outside of the continent. I've been to Canada a lot of times, but never across the seas or anything.
Yeah, I would definitely recommend going to Europe. I
want to do that.
Yes, you need to.
I heard you had to pay for the bathrooms though, so I go to the bathroom a lot, so I mean,
you do in like public restrooms if you're in like the airport or train station.
You do or you don't?
You do.
You do.
But it's
have
only
to pay for
it's
the
like
airport?
€1.
You had to go. If I'm at the
oh wait, no,
not
at the airport. Sorry, I didn't mean that. Like train station or like just any
pay
public
for the
bathroom. Like if you're walking around and you're like, oh, I gotta pee so bad, and you see a public bathroom, then you have to pay for it.
Oh man, could you go to like a Starbucks and use their bathroom?
Sometimes they're kind of weird about it. If you buy something there, then you're completely fine. Like if you buy a coffee, then they're like, okay, whatever. But usually they want you to buy something.
Okay. How much does it cost to use the bathroom?
It's like €1.
€1?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So that's not too much.
No, it's not bad.
But I guess
it is annoying though, because it's only coins most of the time. And so if you don't...
So describe to me the bathroom in Europe. I've never had to pay for a bathroom.
Yeah. So you need a Euro coin most of the time to put in like the little coin slot. Like you can't go up there and do Apple Pay.
Sure.
So that's kind of hard for me because I should carry more cash, but I'm not someone who usually carries cash.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of cash either.
No, and so I'd be digging through trying to find a Euro coin, but it really wasn't that big of an issue because I think like if you're going out and you're at a bar, you're at a restaurant, you're already buying stuff, so then you just get to go and use the bathroom and it's not a big deal.
Okay, so at a bar, do you have to use the bathroom? I mean, like if for a bar or like restaurants, do you have to pay still or no?
No, I mean if you're eating there and you're drinking, they don't care.
Okay, but it's just like a public space, and then they have that's so unique. Okay,
yeah,
like, what
it's
if you
very
go
different.
To a park? Like, what if you're going to the lake or something?
Yeah, then if there's like a public bathroom over there, you still do. We were in, I think it was south of France by the beach. And like I'm so used to here having like the like gross beach bathrooms that are just free, and then it's like you go in and there's a lady waiting with a little coin tray for your euros.
So you pay, but you get way better. Yeah, because I know what you mean. The bathrooms here are really gross in the beach. But it's really nice there for the beach bathrooms.
Oh no, it's still not great. But
you said the lady was.
It's funny that there's just like a lady collecting the Euro coins when you walk in.
Oh, I thought you meant like the lady was holding a mint or.
Oh no, I wish.
Or something. I was like, oh, it's like butler
I
service
did. I
here.
experienced that once. I forget where we were, but they actually like washed your hands for you, which is kind of weird. Like this guy comes up with soap and is just like rubbing your hands.
He rubs your hands for you?
And you're like, okay, I'm getting my VIP treatment for my €1.
I feel like I would just rather wash my own hands than
like
having some guy wash them for me.
My friend told me at first, and I was like, what do you mean he washed your hands? And then I went to the bathroom, I'm like, oh, he actually does wash your hands. Okay.
Oh, so there's a guy in the women's bathroom.
Yeah. Yep. At one of the bars, It's also kind of interesting because
Oh, that's hilarious.
I mean, I think this is a thing here too, but there they also have, like, in women's bathrooms at, like, bars and clubs, they'll have people selling different stuff, like
Sure.
perfume and makeup and just, like, different things.
Oh, in the women's bathrooms here? Oh, you're talking about like the
Both.
coin things? Like the coins that you put a coin, you
Oh,
like
no,
turn
it'd be,
it?
like, a woman sitting there, and then she would have, like, all this stuff she's selling too.
Okay. Speaking of bathrooms, so I remember like when I was a young kid, I went shopping with my mom and I would go into the women's bathroom with her and there were just like, I think it was at a Macy's and I was like,
Okay.
I remember like it's probably 6 or 5 years old or something, but there's low key like a lobby with like
Oh, yeah.
couches.
Mhm.
And I'm
That's
like,
like Nordstrom's.
yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, women's bathrooms are so
Yeah,
much more
no,
fancy.
they are. They're nice.
Like,
Like the department stores, it's like, yeah, this
yeah,
is nice.
us guys don't got waiting chairs
No.
or rooms. What's that? Is that for like lactation or something like that?
I don't
What's
even know.
that?
It's
What's
probably
that
all the
for?
gossip.
Okay.
Like girls love
So
the bathroom gossip.
They have that space for
They're like, we
them.
might as well just give them a little setup.
The more comfortable space to gossip.
Oh yeah.
Is that like really common or is that? I mean, obviously, probably not.
Over
right?
there?
But,
It's
like,
definitely not. I don't think I really saw that at all.
okay. All right. Well, besides the bathrooms, like, what about the Europes? Like, did you see in Europe?
Oh, it's amazing. Like
Where did you go?
So I went to Switzerland, London, France, Spain, Hungary, Denmark.
Wow. Did you just like do a road
Amsterdam.
trip or was this all
We
separate stuff?
flew everywhere, but
You flew
flights are a
everywhere?
lot cheaper there.
Okay. So is this all one big trip that you went on?
So I was studying in Rome for 4 months for the semester. So then we would travel just about every weekend.
Okay. Who's we? You and your friends? Or?
Yes, I had 2 of my St. Thomas friends I studied abroad with.
Okay. So what's some of your favorite memories that you had in like Rome?
Oh, Rome, there's so much. Their architecture and history is amazing, but the food was probably my favorite part.
Okay. What's
Like,
Roman food like? What
all
kind
the
of food?
pizza, pasta, wine, and a lot of it is pretty cheap too. Like wine is super cheap there. I think their meals ended up being a little bit cheaper than here, but just trying all their different foods and like we
Yes.
rate all the pizzas we had and
Okay.
yeah, it was just there's so much to see and do.
So the food. How about any sites that you remember you like doing or?
Oh yeah, Trevi Fountain is like the main tourist
The
thing.
what?
Trevi Fountain.
What's that?
And the Colosseum. I'm sure you've seen pictures of it. It's like a statue of a guy, and then it's this big fountain, and you throw a coin over your shoulder.
Oh,
For,
okay.
I think it's good luck, or it's if you're gonna meet the love of your life. I don't remember. It's one of the two. Either way, it's good. It's supposed to be good. But that and the Colosseum are probably the main two. Roman Forum, Spanish Steps. There's just so much history in Rome.
Okay. Did you see like the Vatican or anything like that?
Yes.
Too?
Yep.
Okay.
The Vatican is also crazy.
Okay. What was crazy about? What was crazy about
The
it?
Sistine Chapel, I think.
Yeah,
is,
that must be cool to see.
Yeah, it's insane.
Okay.
Like, I think you see pictures and it doesn't really do it justice, and then you actually go and it's like, oh my God, this is really, really cool.
Okay. And then, so, like, what other countries do you go to after that? Like, do you have any favorite ones? You see you went to, like, what,
It's
5
so
or
hard to
6?
pick a favorite. I
Or
think
one of the favorites, I guess.
one of my favorites is probably France, and I think France gets a little bit of a bad reputation. People think the French people are super mean, but I thought everyone was super nice. So we went to Paris and Nice, France, so like south of France, and Monaco, and I loved south of France. It's so beautiful. Their ocean is just, it's amazing, and their city line is super pretty, and then I really enjoy F1.
Is this, like, south of Paris, too, you said? Or?
Yes, yep. So
Okay.
we took a flight from Paris to Nice. I think it's only like 2 hours. So it's right on the ocean, south of France. There's Nice and Monaco right next to each other. So those are probably 2 of my favorite. I'm big on F1 racing.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, I love it.
Like,
The show on
watching?
Netflix. Yes.
Oh, what's F1 racing? I thought that was just like a NASCAR thing.
Oh no, it's way different. So it's the cars are faster, and so there's seasons. So it's like they have Ferrari and McLaren and Red Bull, and they make their own cars, and they're a lot faster than NASCAR cars. I think they go over like 200 miles per hour.
Okay.
but-
Do you just watch or you actually do it?
I wish I could do it. I can't
Oh.
afford that,
No,
or
like,
I
when
would
you're
love
riding it?
to.
That'd be so fun.
It'd be so
Okay. I
much
thought you
fun.
said you were into it. I was like, oh, wow,
Oh
that's
no, I
awesome.
would
That's
love
awesome.
to. I wish I could. I just watch it, but I haven't been to an actual race yet. But in Monaco, they have like the racetrack, so you can walk all around it, and then they have a museum, and a lot of stuff there, which is super cool.
And this was in the south of France, you're
Yes.
saying? I know that racing in the south of France.
Yes, the Monaco race is like, I think, the biggest one for F1.
Okay.
It's super wealthy, so they have all their yachts there and all the high-end designer stores.
Right. Okay, and did you actually watch like the whole thing?
Oh, no, we weren't there when the actual race was. You can just kind of see the track at the museum, which isn't as cool, but I would love to see a race there. They're very expensive, though.
You said you watched it on Netflix? I didn't know this was the thing on Netflix.
Yes, F1 show on Netflix. Highly recommend.
Is that just you're just watching cars drive in circles, or am I I don't know anything about this.
Okay, so you like kind of watch the races are a part of the show, but then they also follow one of the teams each episode and like how they're performing. Is it like a real episode,
or is it like a drama thing?
It's real, but there is like they do get the drama.
So it's a reality kind of TV show.
Kind of, yeah. It's more like documentary style. So they follow each team, and then if like one team is doing super bad, then there's kind of drama with that, and the principal's like, am I gonna keep my job? Am I gonna lose it? Or between different drivers too, there's rivalries and everything.
Okay, yeah. We'll have to check. Oh, maybe I'll check.
Yeah, you should.
All right. So, any other places that stick out to you on your trip abroad that you want to mention?
Switzerland was amazing.
That sounds like really cool. I mean, did you go in the winter or summer?
We went in the winter, so we went to Interlaken.
Did you ski?
I did not.
Oh,
I actually can't ski. Well, I can ski, but I haven't skied in years, so we're like, okay, this might be a little risky to go in the Swiss Alps.
Right.
Also very expensive, but we did go paragliding, which was a lot of fun.
Oh, is it cold in the winter, though? Would it be kind of chilly up there?
Yeah, it's cold. It's definitely colder than we thought. Like, we didn't bring our winter jackets to Rome at all. And so I had, like, a thin jacket, and I think it was, like, 40s when we went.
Ooh.
So paragliding was a little chilly, but it was worth it.
Well, so like I think paragliding is like the thing with the triangle, right? You jump off a cliff and you have that.
No, I think that's hang gliding.
Oh,
so you're upright and it's kind of like parasailing, but off a mountain.
Okay.
So you have like a parachute, and then you just run and you jump.
Were you scared at all?
I was a little scared, like right before I was like, oh shit, we're actually doing this, because I was the first one to go too.
Oh, there you go.
And so they're like, okay, start running, and like no one going first. I was like, oh.
Are you like jumping off a cliff basically?
So you're literally you run off a cliff.
Okay. I don't like. Would you go skydiving? I don't know if I would do skydiving.
I think I would, but that one I'd be a lot more scared for.
Yeah, I don't know if I would do that anytime soon. But like that what you said.
Yeah, that one was more. I think you could do that. It's pretty tame.
Yeah, I think I would. I would really, because you just jump off with your parachute.
And then it's like a nice ride, and you're kind of just like floating along.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
They like to do like flips and stuff.
Okay.
But that's still just fun.
Did you get any adrenaline? Like, I mean, obviously right before you did, but like, is it? So the most similar experience I can have is maybe like zip lining. I zip lined in like the Smoky Mountains and stuff, where I don't know, cool. Somewhere close by. I don't know if it's exactly the Smoky Mountains.
Yeah.
But I got that feeling because I went first before my buddy, and they were at me, and I'm like, oh gosh, guy. And then, but you get that thrill of going, and you're like, oh, it's not that bad. But so my question is like, do you have that? Like, was there any thrill, or is it just like you jump off, and then all of a sudden the parachute opens up? And then is it just chilling?
No, there was thrill. I mean, they kind of ask you what you want. So they asked if I wanted to do like spins and flips, and I was like, sure. So
you did some spins and flips?
Yeah. So then you get adrenaline during that. There was a point when I'm like holding on for dear life, and I'm like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have said yes.
Wait, did they spin or did you spin? Or do you?
They do it.
So you're attached to somebody?
Yeah. So the instructor's like behind you, and then they're controlling.
Oh.
The parachute.
Okay, that makes sense. Like,
they did say that you could just do it by yourself. But I'm like, I think that's a huge liability. Because they're like, well, if you don't need an instructor, you can just do it.
So were you roped in with the instructor? Or what happened?
Yeah, so you're like attached. So it's kind of like.
So you guys ran together?
So you're in like a little seat, and then they're kind of like.
A seat?
It turns into a seat. So you have like the little hooks around your ankles that are like on your thighs, and it's like a harness, and then they're like strapped to the back of you. So then you have to run, and then once you're off,
do you run with somebody on your back?
Yeah, so you're like both running at the same time.
Okay. And then you just take off, and then you're doing spins. Was that one of the funnest things you've done?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. Was that the funnest part of your trip, would you say?
It's so hard to choose. That one's definitely like top 3.
Okay.
That might be the best thing I did though.
Okay, that sounds that sounds like a lot of fun. And you just said you just didn't like. I would ski too, but you don't ski or anything like that. Not a big skier. Or would you ever get into it?
I mean, I have skied and I used to snowboard, but we're like, Swiss Alps, this might be a different ball game.
Right.
We were a little worried.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess what's one other thing that you've done that's really fun on that trip? So paragliding, that's definitely really cool.
We also did a fondue boat. So that was more chill, but that was a lot of fun. So you go on the lake in this little like raft boat, and then they have chocolate fondue and wine. So
Wait,
that was
so
just kind of fun.
I don't know if I got that. You were in the raft boat and there's chocolate around you?
There's chocolate fondue. It's like they have these little pots of fondue, and then they give you like strawberries and different things.
Okay.
Because in Switzerland, they're like known for their fondue.
Right.
So that was a lot of fun.
Okay. Yeah, that's really cool.
Ready.
All right, so you said you had just going back to your
Yeah.
Leads Up AI thing you mentioned at the beginning. You said that it kind of benefits real estate agents and maybe even loan officers in the industry. Like, what exactly does it do? You want to tell me a bit more about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So we really can benefit business owners across industries, but we offer an AI-powered CRM and lead nurturing tool. So it's a comprehensive CRM system, but our AI lead nurturing tool is really unique and can especially help people in the real estate industry. So anytime you get an inbound lead, if someone fills out a form on your website, they DM you, text you, email you, our conversational AI will respond to them and then ask them your lead qualifying questions and book an appointment right on your calendar. So it really automates all those repetitive tasks so you have more time to focus on making sales.
Okay, awesome. And then how did you get into that? I think you mentioned it at the beginning.
Yes.
But like you said, you got recruited to, you found some guy, and then you dropped your business and went on that.
I had a mutual connection actually from a previous job interview.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah. So any other ways it helps agents? So it just basically automates the process for them, makes it simple, makes it nice.
Absolutely. Some other cool things that we can do is put an AI chatbot on your website. So it can be fully branded to you as an agent or loan officer. And then anytime someone goes on your website and they have questions, or maybe it's after hours and they want to get a hold of you, they can also use that chatbot. Or we can also do AI email marketing campaigns, which those have been really successful. And it's super interesting because you can upload an old lead list or a new lead list of up to 30K people. And if we have all their LinkedIn profiles, the AI will actually scrape their LinkedIn and then make...
Really?
Yes. Okay. And then it can make every email personalized.
Oh, okay.
So instead of just a boring cold email...
Yeah, it was like personalized with their name based on the LinkedIn. I missed that part.
Yep, so it can scrape their LinkedIn profile. So it'll go and look through their whole profile, and then it will have their name, and then it can also make it personal to their company or past experiences or where they went to school.
Okay, so it just really automates the process, makes it simple and easy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so it's a great tool to have for real estate agents, right?
Yes, absolutely. And lead response time is truly so important. If you don't respond within 5 minutes, I think your chances of qualifying a lead go down by 80%.
Okay.
So it's very important to be responding within 5 minutes.
Okay. Do you guys help with like websites as well, or is that?
Yes. Yep. We do websites and PPC also.
Okay. Awesome. Well, yeah.
Yes.
Check it out, guys, if you need some help with AI or a website as a real estate professional or a loan officer. Yeah,
Awesome.
well, thanks for coming on today, Leah. Do you have anything, I guess, any last messages? We talked about a lot. Last words to the camera before we wrap up here? Or?
No, I don't think so. This has been great.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for being on here, guys. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.